Hi, this is Gary Audin. I have an EDUcast for you today. Return on investment with WebRTC, a subject you really should know about because WebRTC, although discussed a lot, has to be monetized. You have to do something with it that's worthwhile. Today's speaker is Kevin Pitts, Director of Product Marketing Enterprise Networks for Oracle, and I will be moderating this session. So let's talk about what we're going to talk about. We're going to go back through a little bit of overview of WebRTC. We're going to give you a number of use cases. We're going to focus on getting a return on this investment in WebRTC, and then what you can do to learn more about what we're discussing. So Kevin, would you start us off by talking about what is WebRTC so we're all on the same page?
Thanks, Gary. Glad to be here with you today. WebRTC basically enables real-time communications or audio and video connections through a web browser or a mobile device like a tablet or smartphone made by Apple or Android. And it gives people a chance to do things in their web browser that they might do on the telephone or on a web page, and really combines that. As you see in the diagram on the right-hand side, we're enabling a peer connection between the gentleman on the left and the gentleman on the right. That's enabled by a WebRTC control server. And then other critical aspect is being able to connect to people just on a plain telephone and being able to collaborate. And as you'll see in some of the use cases coming up, anytime you're using a web browser or a mobile app, if there's a chance to talk to somebody or text with somebody or see something that can add value, that can help you find the information you need, make your purchase, or maybe do some personal business. So it's all about providing a very rich, connected experience inside that one app or that one browser experience for people as they do things on their mobile devices.
Now that sounds good, but one of the things I think you should bring up to the people that are listening to us is what's expected in growth for WebRTC devices and interfaces.
Yeah, Gary, as you can see on the diagram on the right-hand side, the number of WebRTC-enabled devices is going to grow significantly in the next couple of years. And it really is going to give people these digital natives, and it's kind of a funny term for people that basically, as you see, living on their phones, right? They do everything on their phones. They're talking to their friends, they're making purchases, they're making medical appointments, and it's all about, these people are going to be able to add communications to that kind of everyday digital experience and do chat, text, and voice, and video, and co-browsing. The important note here for the people that are listening in from enterprise is your customers are these digital natives, and they're going to expect these products and services that you offer them to be communications enabled. And for the service providers, it's all about packaging up a nice package, maybe a white label, or a package that you can sell to an enterprise that maybe doesn't want to do the legwork to turn up a service so that they can in turn provide services to their customers.
Before we go on to the use case, would this become, in a sense, a default in the future and even be invisible to most users? They'll just simply use WebRTC, but know they're using it?
Absolutely. I mean, if you browse any auto dealer sites, you kind of see this floating text box. I mean, some of that is creeping in. That's really kind of a WebRTC-like experience. And click to call or click to chat or talk to an agent now is really seeping into the way that enterprises are building websites and mobile experiences for their customers. And I like to think about this idea of like the help that they need as very contextual, and it kind of soaks up from the bottom. So wherever they are on the website or the mobile app, if they need help with something, it's very easy to find help and then engage with it on the channel that they need, text, audio, video, or co-browse, and self-serve or maybe get a little bit more help from an agent. So definitely heading in that direction, and it should be everywhere very soon.
That leads us into this example of a use case that you have.
Right. We're going to, if you just click through that, so what we've got here is a user with a mobile device. In this case, it looks like an Apple device. They have gotten in an accident. They're going to make a phone call. And here, if you just click on that, you'll see the phone call start. And then the call routes over to the agent. When the call lands on the agent side, it's coming from the mobile app on the on the user side, all the information goes with it. So you've got the phone number, maybe the location, the policy number, and they need help. They get the call, and then the agent will do then is invite them back to a video call. You click again, you'll see that video call start. Once the video call starts, the customer can walk around their car, record the video. All that recorded video is going into the claim, and you can see that from one touch on a mobile app, they're able to get in touch with an agent, start recording information into that claim, and start that whole process. The slide you're seeing now is really the back end. So we've got the WebRTC Session Controller product there in the enterprise network, and you see that the call comes over, and it gets verified. Is the caller a customer? We can send it to the Genesis server, which is the contact center platform. If you click again, Gary, you'll see the call go to the Cisco platform, and they actually ring. So you have that combination of all the back-end pieces getting knitted together in terms of a dip into the customer relationship database, a contact with the Genesis contact center platform, and then transferring the call to you see here, to the Cisco phone. Then the agent just starts talking and then invites the customer back to the video call, and the process completes. So you'll see there's a nice difference there between very easy on the user side, connected, knitted together on the back end side for the enterprise, providing a really nice experience for the customer and easy for the agent to deal with somebody who's in need. Here's another use case. So banking is a great example of WebRTC. We're talking to a number of banks right now about turning up real-time communications inside a mobile app or a web browser to turn on new accounts. The extension kind of beyond new accounts is all about being able to maybe talk to a private banker when and where you want to. Private banking relationships might include a review of a number of different account statements, new products, new investments, where's the money, how are the investments going, do we need to move things around. So co-browsing, you can imagine audio and video connection, a lot of co-browsing, a lot of web browsing going on. And then also on a kind of simpler side, a regular banking customer, instead of walking to the branch and standing in line maybe for 20 minutes, making a WebRTC call within a browser to a teller and just moving money around from maybe savings to checking or from one account to the other. So it's a great use case that we're starting to see deployed more and more inside the banking industry.
Now, the next slide brings up the point and really the core of what we're going to talk about, the return on investment for WebRTC. But you want to go through this problem statement for us first?
I will, yeah. So in this example, we're going to go through this example. The problem is that we have a large contact center. We have about 1,000 agents at home. We have some on a VPN connection, and you'll see that can be a little bit challenging. You've got call quality and reliability problems. They have to manage a hardware device. They have to connect to a VPN. They have to make sure that VPN's up. If the VPN's not up, they don't have a connection to the contact center and the customer relationship management system, etc. The next piece is if they're only on PSTN, that can be limiting. There's no extra things like voice or co-browsing, and then we're dealing with probably pretty significant PSTN costs. So we're going to compare and contrast that to a WebRTC solution that leverages the full complement of real-time communications, things that we've been talking about in the use cases, voice call within a browser, a video call, an IM or chat session, co-browsing to find out if it's the right size or color, and even file sharing like we talked about in the bank example. This allows for an over-the-top connection, which really saves money.
I noticed with this slide, though, you're pointing out something I think a lot of people don't realize. Even though you have WebRTC, you still have other connections you have to support.
You do, exactly. Many people, if you want WebRTC, and some of the deployments we've done in some of the big insurance providers in Europe, they still have for instance, the Genesis contact center we talked about, they still have a Cisco telephone system, but WebRTC is adding that audio, adding that video connection, a text connection, the co-browse, and file sharing. And then, like we see here in the list, it helps with inbound charges. Customers are used to using their mobile devices, tablets and web browsers, and it allows you to do everything in that one connected experience inside the browser.
Would you go further and compare the VPN and WebRTC approaches?
Yeah, Gary, thank you. So on the top, you see the VPN tunnel. You see the agent on the left-hand side through the internet. Again, the VPN tunnel has to be established and maintained kind of in the morning and through the day. It hits a VPN concentrator and a firewall and then into the contact center core. So many of us use VPNs every day, and you can imagine, right? I mean, mine goes up and down a little bit during the day, and if I'm on a call, it drops. Compare that to an internet connection where the agent is at home. They have a direct connection to the firewall at the enterprise. These are firewall-friendly connections hitting ports that are usually open for internet, and then into the WebRTC gateway inside the enterprise network and the contact center core. And what this does is enable those real-time communications media methods and codecs. Codec is a fancy word for how we manage audio and manage video inside of those connections.
Let's move on to talking more about the desktop and phone since you brought those up.
Great. As you can see, we're doing just a comparison between the equipment needed on the VPN side and the equipment needed on the WebRTC side. The biggest difference you see, the red X through the hard phone and the VPN router. You don't need those on the WebRTC side. And as you can see, there's a PC there with the Agent Desktop and a WebRTC app for voice video inside that app. So they can do the dialing. They can manage an audio connection, a video connection with a camera on-off button, and text all from inside that desktop application.
Would you provide an example here? Talk about this example of the desktop view that you actually see.
Yeah, so this is the agent view, and starting on the left-hand side, you see that the agent has the CRM system there. We have a list of, as that call comes in, so in that insurance example, when that call lands at the agent, it would pop up. The customer information would be there, all the products they bought, payment history, claim history, things like that. There's a button there for them to manage the phones, and then historical interactions for compliance and performance monitoring is there as well. As we move to the right-hand side, you see a blow-up of the phone. That's a soft phone. Basically, lets them take the phone off hook, put it back on hook. In some integrations we've seen, this is where you'd also control the video. So you can say, okay, I want to do a voice call, I want to escalate to video or not. And then you see the dialer, and then you see the window there. The customer version of this would have a video window at the bottom. And the other critically important thing is that the customer always gets to control the kind of interaction and the escalation of the interaction with the agent. So they decide when to text, they decide if they want to escalate to video or to audio first, and then to video. So we really ensure that privacy and security for the customer. And then for enterprises and service providers, you can choose to provide or offer one-way audio, or one-way video or two-way video. For instance, like we do for the Amazon service, where it's the customer sees the agent, but the agent doesn't see the customer.
Well, that brings up the idea of cost. And I think the next one is real important because this is the whole reason we're doing this.
Exactly. So you start to see how we're doing a cost comparison between the PSTN access for 1,000 agents on an annual basis at the top, about $325,000, compared to an Oracle WebRTC solution for 1,000 agents at $295,000. And then I won't read the lines here, but you can see how we build it up. It's 1,000 agents, the toll-free charges, the number of agents times the number of hours. It's about $95,000 for the toll-free charges, inbound, outbound, and then the DS3 to provide the telephone connectivity, as they home into the corporate network at about $230K, and then the combination. We compare that to the bottom, right? So software license for WebRTC list price at about $144,000. The hardware cost, again, list at $120,000, and the support. Now, most enterprises that do business with Oracle would have a discount off list, so the ROI and the difference might even be bigger, but at about $295K.
I was thinking about the next slide, though, and that is important because a lot of people keep thinking WebRTC is a peer-to-peer function, but almost everything you're talking about requires some sort of controller or server to implement it, right?
It does, and an important point I'll make too, Gary, is that you can have the server as software only, virtualized on your virtual server, or on Oracle or your own hardware. And the thing here, beyond peer-to-peer, kind of one-to-many that we've been talking about in the use cases, Gary, the website, think about the website on the left-hand side. You've got the mobile apps on the Android and iOS platform that are powered by that client SDK. The client SDK is available for download and for review of the documents anytime. And then this idea of a signaling engine and a media engine that connects the audio from the website to the SIP world on the right-hand side, and the media or the video from the website on the left to the video side on the right. So, and these signaling engine and media engines come from the long heritage of Oracle and the acquisition that Oracle did, Acme Packet. So the session border controller technology that's widely deployed at very large service providers and enterprises around the world is used here to make sure that the transcoding, the security, the stun and the media relay, and the policies that you want as an enterprise providing services are applied, and that the service is resilient and secure.
So in a sense, the next slide combines what you're talking together. It's a modern web service.
It is, exactly. And this is an example of how we've added a video and voice channel from Oracle Communications WebRTC Session Controller on the bottom to the Oracle Service Cloud at the top, and literally snaps in, and we're able to add that audio and video channel to that Service Cloud implementation. But the other thing I like to point out on this slide is that the Oracle Service Cloud at the top could be any contact center platform. It could be your own homegrown application. The API and the SDKs on board the WebRTC Session Controller and packaged in there are very strong, and we've had some great integrations to corporate systems that are not Oracle branded.
I'd like to point out to the viewers here, there's a great resource available to you. Oracle Service Cloud and Oracle WebRTC Session Controller is well worth looking at. And those of you who are going to visit Enterprise Connect in March, definitely stop by their booth to talk to their executives and technology people. And they're demonstrating, as you see in the bottom here, a number of different capabilities available via the Oracle products. Well, thank you very much, Kevin, and I appreciate your time.
Thank you, Gary.